Hello. Hi, everyone. Hopefully I'm coming through okay and all this new technology is working. This new old technology. Hey, James. Skycraft Steve. How's it going? Hope you're all well. And that it's all working and that and looks all lovely. We're going to be playing some Scholars of the South Tigris, which I did a stream for. I'm less in the way of the writing. The title of the game's too far along now. We won't worry about it. We did a playthrough for this about a month ago, just before the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is now on. It started at the beginning of March. There's still time to back it. If you see a bit, you're intrigued, you'd like to get a copy for yourself, it's on Kickstarter right now. That's how you can do it. We are employing translators to try and, guess what, translate some scholarly scrolls from their various languages into Arabic, which is our language of speaking. And we'll get points and prestige and influence and all sorts if we can do that really, really well. In the solo game, which is what I'm going to be playing today, we play against a bot who has some simple cards, has 6 cards that will determine their behaviour. They'll be checking for things on the board, trying to do something on their card. If they can't do that, they'll do something else. And they'll rest and all sorts. And Marty is here. Do I disappear? I don't disappear, do I? The screen disappears. But we might be able to. I might be able to get the multicam on without turning off. Let's see how this works, because I'm not sure where he appears from. Oh, he's appeared. Oh no, he appears on your screen as well. It's just the table doesn't have to disappear. There he is. We'll pop him up at the top. So the chat can disappear underneath him. And have I got a rule book in the way? What's in the way of him? The rules for Ark Nova. So let's turn that off. There we go. We've even got a Marty. And once he settles down, is that his chosen position? We'll try and determine where he wants to be. Hey, Sid. Chat box. Oh yeah, the chat bot did work then. It's very temperamental. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But luckily, got Bot Cleaner here, sorting everything out for us. And something the bot can't do. Steve has pasted the link to the project page in the chat, so yeah, you can check out all of the final stuff and take you straight there to see how to get hold of it. This should be a pretty, like, I'm usually saying, oh, it's a prototype, be aware of that, but this is pretty final. It feels like, anyway. What are those things on the camera? Oh, they're the feet of some kind of teddy bear that's near him. Well, unfortunately, he was going to face you for the stream, but he's decided not to. He's there, though, isn't he? He's kind of there. Right then, so Scholars of the South Tigris. He's here and isn't here. Maybe the chatbot isn't coming through for everybody. It's strange. We'll assume it's not working. And anything that it says is a bonus, as long as it's not saying outdated things. So we've got one last little bit of setup that we need to do, and that is to pick our starting translator and all of the resources and things we're going to start with. There's some bag building, there's some dice placement, there's some colour matching, colour mixing going on. But yeah, I don't have any resources or anything just yet, because we have 4 of the starting translators dealt at the start of the game. And yeah, I need to pick one. But these aren't necessarily next to them. I've just done them because we didn't happen to have a translator in the next room along. Translators go in these spaces. But for the purposes of fitting things on screen, I've got kind of a plan. And when I say a plan, like last time, I mean I've had one idea and it's going to run out of steam quite quickly. We get 3 scrolls that are kind of ready to translate. Translation isn't that easy a thing to do, but if you can translate, you need a secondary colour to be able to do it, which we'll see all about in a minute. All of the scrolls that have come out are in Syriac. So if I could get a translator that could translate Syriac to Arabic, the target language, I could do any of those. I wouldn't be able to do all of them. What's come out? One of the starting translators can do Syriac to Arabic. Now that's not immensely lucky because there is a translator that we can hire out there as well that could do Syriac. 2 translators, in fact, that could do Syriac to Arabic. Some translators can translate between 3 languages. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking we could maybe get on some early translation by taking this starting translator. And another thing, we have a goal card. Now I've got to hope that all my buttons work. They do. We have a starting goal card that we're dealt. It wants us to do business with a certain translator. It wants us to translate something from the Purple Temple, which could be one of those Syriac scrolls. And also, we want to go up the philosophy track, the yellow track, 3 times. Those things we will hopefully do along our journey. But on the board here, the starting resource things. Now, blue. Actually, that would help me do the Green Temple as well, wouldn't it? Starting with a blue die. Yeah, blue and yellow you need. So it tells you the dice you start off with. It's that 6 white and 1 blue. How many dice you're going to draw out of it? 4. Start out with some gold. Need that for translating, amongst other things. Need some money to hire other translators. And yeah, you always want some money. Some starting workers, which can manipulate your dice, and you need them for other things as well. But at the bottom there, a movement up the philosophy track. So that's one of my 3 sorted. And yellow is like, I wouldn't start with any yellow, but it's not impossible to get hold of. Easier than a secondary colour. So this kind of feels like the pair that I want to start off with. Now the other 3, the bot just gets. All neutral translators belong to the bots. So I think that's what I'm going to take. We could have Chinese to Syriac. The power here is very nice. Now when you... Oh, this angle slightly cuts off the powers, doesn't it? When you retire translators, when they have a certain amount of gold on them, they usually get gold when they do some translating, you retire them, and if they were in your employ, they go under your player board, and the action that they are now underneath gets a special bonus. White dice aren't great. You get punished for having loads of them at the end of the game, and in general, they get in the way of you drawing your lovely dice. So a nice starting power to get rid of white dice, I would really like that. And, you know, more flexibility, more languages. These translators here would stay for longer, but you might want to retire them early. This is what I'm going to go for, though. So all these other starting resource cards are irrelevant, and I just need to grab some dice here. Hey, Shem. Oh, thanks for joining us, Shem. Co-designer Shem Phillips is in the chat, everyone. If you've got any questions about the game or the campaign, or anything, really. So 6 white, 1 blue, and we're going to draw 4 of these out. Hey, Michael. Yellow's not a primary colour. We've got a primary school teacher here that can verify this for us once and for all. Is yellow a primary colour, Rach? Yeah. Yes. There you go. Don't Wikipedia it, Google it, anything else. It is, though. Isn't it? Yes. Isn't it? What am I drawing out here? I've just got my hand fumbling about in a dice bag, which isn't a bad way to live, is it? So I've got a 3. You roll them. And we're going to be using these for some dice placement. So all I've got in the bag now is some white dice. So I've got my blue. So maybe doing something in the... So I've got a blue die and a red worker. So we'll see when the colour mixing happens That's going to make me purple. So I could translate something from the purple temple quite easily. The one I really want is in the orange temple, though. We'll have a look at those in a sec. So I've had those. I need my 2 gold, my 2 coins, and my step up the philosophy track. So these tracks, we want to go up them to get you all sorts of stuff. That's not the right button. I'm in the way a little bit here. So these tracks, there's an action to go up them. There's all sorts of bonuses. When we do some translating, when we deliver, we'll get bonuses up these tracks. When we go to a translucent space, you get that thing straight away. When you go to a solid space, you have upgraded the reward you might get when you rest. You're not necessarily going to get all these. I think the only one that we guaranteed do get is the blue one, which is draw more dice out your bag. But there are ways to make the others trigger when you rest. So right now we're going up philosophy. So I will get 1 extra money. If I can go up once more, though, and I have made harvesting this track possible when we rest, if I don't move up it at all, I've got to pay a money to add a die of any primary colour to my bag. When you see the plus, that's a die going in your bag. When you see the hand, oh, you can't see it on this screen here. Here's the hand. That's a yellow die in your hand. That's a die of a primary colour in your bag. So I could pay a money to get one in my bag. But if we can get to 2, that bonus changes to just get one, no payment at all, or remove a white die. And all the way up to the top, add a primary coloured die and get rid of 2 white dice. Where was I? Oh, one track up it and get a coin. You've had the coin. So I think that's the last bit of setup complete, and we get the first turn. So something that's changed, I'm hopefully going to be a bit quicker, fingers crossed. Since the last stream, though, was about 3.5 hours long, I've not gone for the epic game, which makes it puts more scrolls in the deck, and is the true length. This is the casual length of the game, but I have stepped up the difficulty of the bot. Not, I sound big about that. I've only stepped it up once, because I won. So what that means is the dice sum of the bot has changed. It's on 0. Marty's been all over this table. I've got to check on what I've got to reset. And they start with a scroll. Doesn't matter what's on the other side of that scroll. In the Persian section, which is going to give them points at the end of the game for certain criteria. Each of the scrolls they've got in each of the sections will give them points based on how many scrolls they've got there. So for every scroll they've got here, they get a point for every translator that they had. Right. So I need this card now. This starting resource card becomes my player aid, and it's got a little, when you rest, harvest the blue track symbol on the other side as well. There's a little guide of the tiers of languages as well. So we are in possession. Well, we have in our employ a translator that can translate Syriac to Arabic. All 3 of those scrolls are Syriac. So I want to do the translate action. I could do it right now if I wanted to translate the scroll that's in the purple temple. Because what matters for this action is the colour of the die that you are using. And so the way it would work is, I would play a card. There are all sorts of cards in your hand that relate to mainly different resting bonuses that you'll get, harvesting the different tracks. Some have a bad resting penalty on. Add a white die. Well, it might not be so bad depending on what you're after. But these ones that add white dice when you rest have a benefit when you do the action. So get an extra couple of money or a gold when you do the action. Draw 2 more dice out of your bag and get a worker. Ooh! So I could do the translation action straight away, couldn't I? I was thinking of doing ways of getting extra workers so I could change the colour to what I want. You can come here with a low numbered die and get a worker of any colour and a coin. You can employ translators, and instead of bringing them down here and keeping them permanently, you can just discard the cards for the immediate bonuses that are in their top right corner. And there is a translator out there that can get you 2 coins and a worker. But I kind of think, surreptitiously getting my notes out. Hey, I made notes once. I'm going to use them. Make sure I don't forget any steps. You see it wherever I put it, though. I'm not missing anything, am I? I can translate. I've got to have the gold. I'll have the gold. Only one translator's involved. I think we can translate. Turn 1, translate. I think it took me ages last time. So, this is going to need me to grab a worker straight away. And it's not going to be great in some ways. So we have the main 4 actions of the game here. Recruit, travel, research, translate. We have extra spaces here that can be either or of the pairs of actions. This one's unlocked at the start, so I could do either of these actions, well, one of these 2 actions, twice before resting. It's not really in rounds. You keep doing things until you want to rest. This one here, that can do the research and translate, can't do this. This space is blocked until we've done the things on the goals. But this ties into what I want to do here. So I'm doing a bad thing, really. When I rest, I could choose to add a white die to get a gold. What I'm doing now just gets me... I've got to add a white die. It's not a choice. And I don't get the gold. But I can, before the action, draw more dice out of my bag. Not really fussed about that. But get another worker. So that's what I'm keen on. So I want to do an orange action. Because the colour of the temple matters. All of these could be good. I mean, track movements, they're not the philosophy track. You get to go up a particular track when you translate the thing. They get you some points in the corner, and they have in the middle usually some scoring criteria, sometimes some immediate bonuses. So this one here would get me a point, and as well, a point for every Greek scroll I've translated and every Hebrew scroll I've translated at the end of the game. This Syriac one here, a point, plus a point for every purple die that I've got. I can get 2 dice if I have 4 or more red dice at the end of the game, and it would immediately get me a purple die. This is the one I've got my eye on, though. So it's harder to do, and it doesn't really give me many points. But I wonder if this will give me a bit of a leg up. So it only gets me the 1 point, but its immediate bonus is I can recruit or retire. I can choose the retire option if I'm willing to add a white die to my bag. This translator. Whichever option I pick out of that, that's the translator my goal card wants me to deal with. It would be all right getting the one in the Green Temple as well, because that's another goal that I could cross off straight away. And I suppose if we did the green one first, use your blue dice, get a yellow worker, and then that would make green. I would get this worker as a bonus, and then I would have a red and a yellow worker. I can't translate twice, though. I think this will be good. I'm going to stick with my original plan. So we're going to go for the orange. So the number doesn't matter, so I'm going to go for low numbers here. So how am I going to do an orange action when I've just got white dice? The workers can change things. If the worker you're using is a different colour to the die that you're using, it changes the die to that colour. It doesn't affect the number, but it changes the die to that colour. If I had another worker, though, that die is now red. If you use a worker of the same colour as the die, it changes it to a 6. So if I just had a white worker now, I could say, that's a red 3, that's a white 6. So it would be a red 9 action. At the moment, it would just be a white 5 action, which doesn't really get me anywhere. I want, though, a yellow action. So you can play up to 2 workers on each die, and you can play up to 2 dice with the action. To do an orange action, I'm going to need a yellow worker, which is why I've used this card, because I can draw 2 more dice out of my bag. I'm not fussed about that, really. They're going to be white dice. Might be good numbers, 2 and a 4. But also gain a worker of your choice. I'm going to gain this yellow worker. So in this action that I have, I've got a red 3 die here and a yellow 2 die, because I've used these workers to imagine that they are the primary coloured dice, just for the purposes of this one action. These will go back into my bag eventually and stay white, of course. When you mix 2 primary colours in an action, they become a secondary colour. So this is now an orange 5 action. When we translate, the number doesn't matter, only the colour. The colour is the temple that the scroll you want to translate is in. That's why I wanted orange, because I want this scroll first. Because I think having this, I think I'm going to go for the retirement bonus first. So yeah, get that. Language is in 3 tiers. We can see that on my player aid here. So the goal is Arabic. You can translate between many different translators. Every translator you use costs you a gold, and you have to pay silver if you're using somebody else's for every one of theirs you want to use. But yeah, you can do as many steps as you want and can afford, as long as you don't use the same language twice. For me, it's kind of simple, because Syriac is the target language of the scroll that I want, and the translator I chose to start with can translate straight from Syriac to Arabic. It is just a tier 1 language, so it's only 1 away, so it's easier to do. So I put a gold on there. You notice the rooms that the translators are in have got some gold on top. This is their threshold for retiring. So when the translator here has 2 gold, then she will retire and come to my player board and give me an extra bonus. But I also won't be able to use her anymore. So yes, we've done that. Forge a line of translation. I've done it. Put a gold on there. I don't need to pay any silver. Take the translated scroll. So it's an orange action. We're coming to the orange temple, and I'm translating this Syriac scroll. I do start with one. It's based on what my gold card is. This lets me, at the end of the game, it gives me 3 points, and I can convert every 2 money I have into gold. Then at the end of the game, every 2 gold is worth a point, and I lose 3 points if I have 6 or more white dice at the end. I've now got a second one. I've done a bit of translating. It's only 1 more point, but immediately now I can choose to recruit or retire this translator. So I think this angle should show us all of the translators. There he is. Oh, he translates Syriac to Arabic. So I could keep doing this longer. I could do it with all 3 of these. I was kind of tempted though. The downside of retiring them straight away is I've got to take an extra white die into my bag. But this would give me, underneath an action, the ability to add red dice to my bag pretty early on. Or red workers, should I need them. And it's 2 points and we don't have to wait for them to translate before they retire. I think I'm going to choose to add the white die to the bag to retire this translator early. Whatever I choose though, this counts as hiring or retiring this kind of translator. So I've done one of the bits of my goal. So I get this white worker, and I have to decide which action I want this translator to go underneath. The first one's free underneath each action. And it's just whenever that action is triggered, I can have a red die in my bag or a red worker. That makes that better. That other scroll that wants me to have 4 red dice. Maybe that needs to be next. And it's getting green. Yeah, we need to work out how to get to green. It's going to have to be after a rest because I can only translate once at the moment. What are we going to do? Some recruiting, some traveling, some researching. We do want to go up the yellow track. I don't have a yellow worker though, or a yellow die. I could maybe go up the blue a bit. If I can get a bit of gold. Or will we do some hiring? I don't need to hire necessarily at the start. Let's go into research. Whenever we research, we can have a red die or a red worker. Okay, I think that is all of my steps. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Yeah, take your scroll. Oh, yeah, you have forgotten something, because that was one immediate effect. The other immediate effect is you move up this track, which happens to be maths, which I think was the main focus last time. There's a worker. Ooh. So you want to do green translating? Oh, actually, yeah, travel next maybe to fill in the blank temple so you get the most... So you get the most reward for it. You know what? I do like the sound of that. I do like the sound of translating soon as well. Well, we could travel and then rest, because this space needs to be free before I can translate again. Because, yeah, I can pick a worker of any colour. I've got a blue die right here. I can choose a yellow worker. There's my green for translating. I only need 1 gold to do it. I just need this action clear. But yeah, I think you're right. The bot might end up doing this and getting in the way. But yeah, so the temple space is up here. See, there's a bit more involved in the travel action when we get round to it. I think it's this angle that I wanted. But when you deliver scrolls, if this top slot is free, it's 4 money either way. If this top slot's free, you get 2 influence in that temple and a gold. Middle slot, 1 influence, 1 gold. Bottom slot, an influence and a gold, but you've got to take a white die. So, sorry I'm behind on the chat. I'm waffling to myself, aren't I, about all of this? Right, so that's my turn. Done all of my stuff. Let's let the bot have a go. I think we've gotten to the bot's turn quicker than I did last time. I'll probably explain more things last time, maybe. So, first thing we do when a card is drawn, we move their marker that many spaces forward. The top bit here determines all sorts of things when they need to make a decision. It's going to be something to do with the space that their marker's on. All of their cards have a top bit and a bottom bit. They try to do the top bit. If they can't do the top bit, they do the bottom bit. They're going to do the bottom bit and get in the way, basically. Unfortunately for me. So the first bit is, how many scrolls are in the temples right now, ready to translate? If there were 3 or more, they would translate. There aren't, though, so they do the bottom part, which is travel. So they're going to do the plan. It was a good plan, though. It would have got me the gold that I needed. And I think we can still travel and get slightly less rewards. It might still be worth it to get the red die in the bag. So when they're delivering, they're using their language focus clockwise from the neutral marker. So the neutral marker here's the travel section of the board. Here's where the neutral marker starts. Their language focus, based on where their thing is Greek. They want the first Greek scroll that is clockwise from here. And so remember from last time, it's not this one. They have to, I know this isn't Greek, but it's the first one past it, because usually we move our markers along and get things off the board. So, yeah, the first Greek from the neutral marker is this one. This is going to be the one that they deliver. There are other ways that they can like filter things down until they've just found one thing. Well, this one is the first one along. If there wasn't any Greek, they'd do a different language. They'd do the next language along. They deliver it into the highest row. They don't particularly care which temple it is, if there is the chance to get more influence. So they are delivering that Greek scroll to the orange temple, and they get the influence that a player would get. So they get the 2 influence in there. Of your influence, if you have the most, yours goes in the top spot there. If anyone ever has more than you, so not equal, more than you, they can knock you out of there and get that top spot instead. And it's worth some points at the end, and it also allows you to get bonuses throughout the game if you are in charge of that temple. Okay, so traveling has gotten less attractive. We could go for the research. It's still going to be an influence somewhere. It's still going to get us a gold. Oh, we need to refill the scrolls. There's a Syriac scroll. It wants you, for every track that you're at space 3 or higher, get a point. Also, move up a primary coloured track straight away. when that's translated. So that's kind of cool. I am a bit tempted to just rest and translate straight away again. It's a bit early. We could still deliver though. Just I wouldn't really want to use a colour to deliver with. I would want to use this to get an extra money, which is adding some more white dice, which is, it's okay because it's early days. We could just research. If we just go at one spot of the yellow research track, we'd get a nice bonus when we do come to rest. It does mean I'd be covering up a space where we get some money. And I'm using my yellow worker that I was saving. But I think this will be okay. Let's do some research. So research, I'm pressing the right button to take us there. Kind of. At the top here, it tells you the colour and the number matters. So the colour is the track that you're going to be going up. The value, if you're just sending a group of value 1 or more, you get a worker and a money. That's it. 4 or more, you can pay a gold to go up. Oh, that's not the card I wanted to use, is it? I wanted another gold. You can pay gold to go up the track of the action colour that you've made out of your dice and get 2 money. 8 or more, you don't have to pay the gold. You just go up and get 2 money. 10 or more, you can pay 2 gold to go up twice. I suppose I could just have a value of 8 or more and not pay any gold. Because I was thinking of holding on to the gold to do some more translating next time. I could, instead of... I wanted this out because this harvests the yellow track, gets us the reward from the yellow track. So it's nice to have out there, but we could use this one to get an extra gold and go up 2 spaces. Give us a load of money. And maybe do another action before we rest. You're leaving time then, though. Yeah, I've talked myself into it. So I need a value of 10 or more. How are you going to do that then? You're going to have to use your white worker as well. Well, that's okay. They weren't doing anything. That's what they're for. So I can turn the 4 into a yellow. And was this a 2? It doesn't matter because I'm changing the value of it. So that's still a white 6. Well, it is now a white 6. Still white, but now it's a 6. I know words. And this is still a 4, but now it's yellow. Together, primary colour takes precedence. So this is a yellow 10. I'm going to take my gold before I do the action. And up on the research section, pay 2 gold to go up the track that you want. We have used a yellow action. So we're going up the yellow track twice and getting 2 money. This is one, we'll get a green die. I totally intended for that. Right. So we get 2 money. And we're going up this track. Once, gets us nothing. That happens when we harvest it. Twice, that gets me something. Another money. What have we got now? 6. And I can put an influence on a scroll. So influence will kind of maybe stop the bot messing with things that I want. So if I want that Syriac one, it's not essential. I just kind of like it. I could put influence on it. It doesn't stop the bot from doing things to it. It means that, you know, in a multiplayer game, it doesn't stop them doing things to it. But if they want to translate the scroll you put an influence on, they've got to pay you a silver. So it can still work that way. The bot, if the bot wanted to translate that and I had an influence on it, they'd still be allowed to do it and give me the silver. So I'd basically get a silver from the bank. But I can pay a silver to the bank just in the solo game to stop that, to make them target something else instead. It is quite nice. There is another one, but that's ready and in the Green Temple. I feel like that's probably good. There are other things in here. This is a Greek one, so harder to translate, but that's good for green dice. And on my gold card, that gives me a green die straight away. The card itself would give me another green die. There is that Syriac one there is nice. They're not out yet. This Greek one here gives you a point for every Syriac, and at the moment we're on a Syriac mission, it seems like. Degrees Krakow. Yeah, I feel like it took me most of the game last time to do the gold card, but it seems to be the focus this time. So we've gone up that twice, which means this green die, a secondary coloured die, goes into the bag. It's a plus, unfortunately. It'd be lovely if it was a hand, but in the bag is still pretty nice. So there we go. We've done a research action. I feel like that's gone well. So the bot, by the way, has red and blue cards in their deck. When they've got 3 cards of a particular colour in their display, that tells you they're going to rest next turn. So this moves 0. Are there 7 or more translators employed by anybody? No, there are the starting 4 still. So they're going to employ a translator, and the player aid reminds us, use their translator focus. That's the thing at the top of their board. So it's got all sorts of things, hasn't it? It's got a colour, a language, and a translator. So that's their translator focus. This translator here. They want to try and put different translators out. So if that translator was already present, they'd go to the next one along and the next one and the next one. But it's fine because that translator isn't already out on the board. So their target value is... It's 2, isn't it? It's the last 2 cards. It's not the current cards number. So they're taking this top translator and putting them out. Where they put it is based on their target value, which is the last 2 cards they played. So that's a total of 2. They are going to put it in the rightmost room that would cost you 2 to put it in there. All these rooms have got a gold cost on them, and the only one that costs 2 at the moment is over here. They ignore all of these rewards and stuff that players would get. You flip the translator over to the other side. We don't need to put an influence on there because all neutral translators belong to the bot. And I think I've remembered it properly this time. So a new translator's out, can translate Greek to Persian. So for me, I'm tempted to just rest. Because I want the green die. I want to be able to translate again. But I'm also tempted to do an action so that I can harvest my philosophy track as well. And for any of the tracks, you know, even at the bottom, there's still something. I've got plenty of... I mean, get a person and then turn a person into a gold. It's quite nice. I think we want to get that harvested, don't we? And we want to activate the bonus of getting things as well. I'm realising just at the right time, I think. Yeah. Yeah, we want to make sure that track's harvested. These cards were necessary to have the things to do the actions. Whereas this one will just get a nice harvest thing. And I chose to put it under travel. We're going to have to live with that. So the travel action is how we are going to deliver scrolls from here to the temples. So that'll cost some money, but I've got a lot of money. So this concerns the number of the action mainly, but the colour might come into it as well. So there are all these spots. Your play counter starts up here, and for every value in your action, you can move your marker one of these spots along. You don't have to stop it on a card space. If you stop it on a card space, that's the card that's getting delivered. If you stop it on a white space, you're just getting these things. So it can be add and remove gold from translators. It can be get a gold to draw something out of your back. It can be something you really need, 3 money. If you go over one of these spaces when your marker moves, and your action was this colour, you get an extra bonus. So the colour here isn't a requirement, but it can help. So as it is, a scroll that would go out that can give you points for translating Syriac, when my starting one's Syriac, And the plan is to have translated 2 more Syriac. Seems quite nice. I'd have to work out how to translate Greek. But there are a few out on the board that can translate Greek. We might have to just hire a couple of translators ourselves, or just use one of the bots and pay them a silver. Don't want to do that. Yeah, you count both of these spaces when you're traveling along. So I could do a really high-powered action, and just, like, if I really want that green one, or I want that Syriac one to go out, that would get me more precious research spaces, like get loads of tracks to 3, and give me a point for every time. And that would give me a bit of a leg up doing the green one. I kind of like that Greek one, though, because our Syriac to Arabic translator is going to retire when we use her again. But a translator is out that can do that again. There is a translator owned by the bot as well that can translate Greek to Syriac. So if we hire that Syriac to Arabic translator, we could still do it. Hey, so very wrong about games. Let's go. Very new, very sparkly. Because I've got this white die here. We could hang on to the blue one. Because, mind you, a blue space would just get me an influence on a card, which isn't a bad thing. But it would also get me moving a long way around, whereas I kind of think I'm just going to go for this 5, move less than the value, not get any extra bonus for it, because I can't get orange this way. But I think I want this one out. Points for translating Syriac and Sanskrit later if we do that. Which temple do I want it in? A different one. Now, the temple you're delivering it to does not relate to the colour of the travel action you did. The colour of the temple only matters when you're translating. I can deliver it to any of the temples. I'd lean more towards one of the other temples that I could just get the lead in influence in. As for which one, well, I suppose green, because I've got the green die. I don't know, I'm using green for something else. Hey, Dana. Purple. Well, they're all kind of equally strong. I suppose purple, no, I think you're right in that when these, I remembered the name earlier, Caliph cards come out that are throughout the deck, if you control a temple, you get to pick a bonus on these Caliph cards, and the purple is the first temple to get a pick. So I think you're right, actually. I think purple's the one to go for. So that costs 4 money, but I've got 6. 4 down. I get 1 influence in the purple temple. Apologies for the purple marker, purple temple combo. And the bird's eye factor. I think you can still see it, it's a different shade. So that goes in there. I've had the influence, and I also get a gold, which will help me with my translating efforts in the near future. And that's there now. It's not got an influence on it, though. We've got to be a bit worried. And a new scroll comes from the top of the deck. So have I got the epic and casual card to hand? Yes. So for a casual game here, just having a casual nighttime game, there are these stacks of cards that I made out of all the scrolls in the game. These 4 stacks in the middle have a Caliph card shuffled into them. When the 4th Caliph card is revealed, it's going to trigger the end of the game. When we have to replenish the display, the cards come from the top. When we rest, cards come from the bottom. So they can be triggered in different ways. The epic game is just, there's more in every stack. So yeah, I think we're safe for a couple more coming from the top of the deck, and at least a couple of, yeah, the second rest could potentially trigger a Caliph card. But we've got control of a temple. Control of another temple would be really nice. But I'm feeling good about this start, because I had more than one move in, or more than one hypothetical translation in mind this time. Only had one starting thing at the beginning of last game. So I think that's all of my travel action. I've moved the marker, I've delivered the thing, I've had all of the rewards, I think. So let's have a look at what the bot's doing. Doing a red, so not resting next time. The marker moves 0. Are there 3 things in the temple? Yes. Just trying to work out which one it's going to take. I think it's going to try and take my green, but I can stop it for now. But then what's it doing? So it's language focus. Unfortunately for me, so the priority, it uses its language focus first. Oh, I haven't done everything because you also get to move up that track. Let me just check that. I'm pretty sure you get to do it when you deliver it, and then you get it again if you deliver it. Yes. So I also get to move up the green track, which gets me a die out of my bag. Could it be the green? There's 3 dice in this bag. Have a look. It is the green. And it's going to be, number doesn't matter for translating, 4. So there's 2 white dice left in there. Oh, don't forget my bonus. You can have it later. I suppose it makes sense to do it after the action. This is the bot's action, though. Yeah, well, I could have drawn that out there and then had that bonus last. You're allowed to do that. What this all comes down to, though, is that the bot's taking me scroll that I just delivered. So their language focus is Greek. There are 2 Greek options in here. The lowest row, so the one I just delivered, and then if there was still a tie, they would use their colour focus and try and take something from the green temple first. Unfortunately, my beautiful scroll has been translated by the bot. So this goes in their Greek section, and it's going to give them points at the end of the game. Yeah, it was a nice one. Points for Syriac when we're translating loads of Syriac would have been lovely, but we weren't set up to do it anytime soon anyway. Yeah, there's still plenty of good things out there delivering. And one of the main things of that was getting the harvest in and the die out. So hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, then the bot places gold. We can see on their player board, next to Greek, there is 2 gold here. I don't feel like I'm going to be involved in this. So they place gold on translators, if kind of making a link for them. So first of all, can you see the languages from this screen? Yes, you can. So they place them on neutral translators of the scroll's language, moving from right to left. So ignoring mine doesn't translate Greek anyway. So Greek, no. Greek, yes, you get a gold. Greek, yes, you get a gold. And this is how they hypothetically use theirs. So they would go over, if they still had gold left, they would go from left to right doing my translators, so the ones that are least likely to get retired first. And then if they still had gold left, they would go from right to left of just their translators that don't do Greek. And then if there was still gold left after that, they'd go left to right for my translators that didn't translate Greek. So yeah, they would have had to put a lot of gold out for me to get a taste there. And I don't want one because I don't want my translators to retire. They did that last time to me. Yeah, there's a red die in my bag now. I did it a bit late. Going up the green track and putting the red die in, I did a bit late. So we've placed gold. They've had their turn. I think it's time to rest. So when we rest, it says on the back of my player aid over here, you reveal the bottom scroll card. And then based on what this is, we do stuff. Let me get my resting thing. So it's not a Caliph card, it's a scroll card. Press this button. So does the scroll card adjacent to the neutral marker have an influence on it? No. We put the new card where this was. Then we look over at the guilds. Are any of the guilds empty? No. So this card gets removed from the game. That's okay. It's a nice card, but it isn't in our top few, so that's okay. Then we gain income. We resolve our rest icons from left to right, and this can really make a difference later on. So if you need to have a worker to turn into a gold, you want to gain that worker before you need to turn them into a gold. So first of all, we're going to harvest the philosophy track. So So the philosophy track, it is the highest solid coloured space that you've gotten to. So I can add a primary coloured die to my bag or remove a white die. I kind of feel like there'll be time to remove dice later. I've got 2 in the bag right now. What colour would I have though? I've got no workers, but I've got the green die that I really, really want right now. We're about to add 2. If yellow is the focus of the track, it's not going to be so bad using these cards that put loads of white dice in over and over again, because if we can get high enough up it, every time we rest, we can remove 2 of them. So we can kind of cancel that out, or hopefully get to a stage where we're doing beyond that. You think remove the white? Yeah, I can't think of if I didn't have that green, I'd be desperate for a different colour, but because whatever we put in the bag, no, we can't guarantee we'd draw it. Yeah, let's remove a white. So we can remove it from anywhere, but I'm going to go for the bag. So we remove a white from the bag. It goes back to the supply. Then the next thing, I shouldn't have bothered doing that, because the next thing is put a white die in your bag. And then the next thing is put a white die in your bag. You cancel one of them out. And then gain a white worker. And then harvest the blue track. This is always draw from the bag. Draw until you have 4 dice in front of you. So the downside of resting when you've got dice left is that you're not drawing as many from the bag. But as it is, aren't they all white? Oh, one of them's red. Yeah, so maybe less likely that I'll draw me red die. I've got 2 white dice. But yeah, hopefully we'll get the red later. Then all the used dice go back to the bag. That's all of the income bits. The used dice go back to the bag. The used workers... Oh yeah, so that's made the red die a lot less likely. The used workers go back to the supply. And my cards come back to my hand. This goal card, by the way, is another action card. So another reason that you want to get it. But we might be getting it very, 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 very soon. So return all your action cards to hand. I haven't got any extra notes on my resting, have I? Nope. So that's my turn, though. My whole turn is resting, but we can translate next turn. The bot hopefully isn't translating. Are there 6 translators out? No, there are 5. So using... Oh, that move their thing 2 first. So they're going to hire a translator. It's going to try and be this translator. Is that translator out already? Which translator is it? Oh, yeah. This translator. No, she is not out. So the target value is 2 again. So it can't go in one that's 2. Does it go to the next one down? Ascending and looping. So the next highest one. So there are no value 2 rooms left. So they go in a value 3 room. The rightmost value 3 room is that one. It's a nice room. Gets you a yellow die in your hand. Can translate Persian to Arabic. Right. That's their turn. Shall we get translating? I don't need anything to be able to translate this. So shall we get... Shall we just get harvest the yellow track confirmed, locked in, as one of the things that's going to happen? There's no cost as to what I'm doing, so the ordering I don't think really matters, because it's messing with dice in the bag. The white dice it's removing don't necessarily have to be in the bag, but you know what I mean. So yes, all I need is a green action, and luckily I've got a green die to do just that. So translating again, like we did before, it's in Syriac, so our Syriac to Arabic translator needs to get a gold. We're not using anyone else's translators. We're going to retire a translator as well in a minute. So we are translating this. My influence on it just goes away. Yeah, avoiding the white dice would be nice as well. Like, the bonuses on top are beautiful early on, but they're just bunging everything up, the white dice. So here is another translated scroll. Point at the end of the game for every purple die that I have, and if I can get 4 or more red dice. I've got 1. Every time I do travel, I can get another one. I wish it wasn't on travel now. We get a purple in the bag. It could have been so good though, couldn't it? It can still be good. We'll still travel plenty. And I also move up the maths track again. So we probably want the maths track harvested because we're going up to a solid space now. Harvesting it gets you 3 money. The bottom there, which I'm a bit in the way of, you have to add a white die to get 2 coins. But now we just get 3 coins. That was so good about being really high up this last time. Just getting 5 coins every time you rested. It was amazing. Oh, thanks, James. Thanks for being here. Why have I broken down? We could still try and deliver to there. There's another space. The pattern's repeating itself. Have I done everything? You've had the purple die. Yep, you've had the movements. I think you've done everything. No, you haven't, because that was translating something in a green temple. I get a yellow worker. And we could translate again. I have this beautiful action here. Pay any worker to remove a white die. And this is revealed. Draw an extra die out of your bag at the end of resting after we've had things from the blue track. And I could do this twice in a round now, researching or translating. One of them I could do a second time in between rests, which would be lovely. And it's got a 5 built in it. Right. Very pleased with that. But don't translate it. They're not translating it. Oh, they are travelling and filling it again, though. I suppose it was unlikely that they would do. Right, so they're moving a space along. There are not 5 or more scrolls in the temples, so... Oh, they're going to get the lead of the green temple. So they are going to... travel. So their language focus is Syriac. They are putting a Syriac thing out in the temple, though. I mean, it's annoying what they've done. The first Syriac from the neutral marker. When does the neutral marker move? Have I forgotten to do that? They're putting a scroll that I want out, is the point. So it's annoying because I would have done that, probably. I would have got some money from somewhere. They get 2 influence for doing that, and they are now in control of the green temple. A new card comes out. It is not the Caliph card. I remembered. Yes, my translator retires. We did forget. I take the gold. So they've reached their 2 gold threshold, which is on the room that they're in. So they retire. Can't use them anymore. That's some points, though. And they can go underneath another action. So these actions, the double actions, as you can guess from the colour, they're not getting people underneath them. But, I don't know, research. I've got a yellow worker. Research is going to happen, isn't it? Every time I research, I can put something... I can put a... influence on a scroll. It's something. I could put one on this Syriac now, couldn't I? I haven't got any gold to do any amazing research, though. We could try and get hold of some. You can put them underneath like the same action, but you got to start paying. What about when we recruit? Because we need to do some recruiting as well, don't we? We need a Syriac translator back in business again. Right. Yeah, that's where they're going. Bots had their turn. They delivered. They got a load of influence. I think it's back to me. What should we do? So I've got my super amazing thing now that can help me remove things and get to big numbers. If we want another couple of steps up the yellow track... I suppose we want loads of tracks now, though, don't we? We want to get up to 3 on many tracks. So we could do it on the blue track and then get to draw more dice out later. 2 steps up it, though, you've got to pay 2 gold. How are you getting that 2 gold? Well, we want to recruit, don't we? And I feel like I'm just going to recruit a translator that can do Syriac to Arabic again. How much money have I got? 2. That gives me access to a few rooms. I think that's okay. Are there any other tracks I'd particularly like to harvest? I suppose we've gone up green 1, might go up again for this if we translate that Syriac. And green puts you up tracks more. But it's if you pay gold if you haven't gone up loads already. Oh, we want maths to be harvested, don't we? So we can get some more money. Yeah. I'm going to put that out. I'm going to use my white 6. So for recruiting a translator, they've got these groupings for each, of the pairs that they're a part of. You can recruit it from that section as long as your die group is that or higher. So I needed a 5 at least. I don't want to waste a worker. I want to recruit you. So I could just discard him straight away and have this bonus. That means add or remove a gold from a translator. So I could, that's how I could get a gold. I could just nick it off someone's translator. That is tempting. And then just do the action again in a bit and recruit him. And it prevents the retirement of their things. But I don't know, both bonuses are good. When you do this action, treat your white dice as blue. That's pretty cool. Draw an extra die out of your bag, though, when you do this action. I think as nice as it would be to steal gold off their translators, we've got better things to do. So, yeah, that's one option. Have this right away, and then the X, that's gone. Or, this is how we properly get people into these rooms. So I've got 2 money right now. I could have used the card that got me 2 extra money and gone in this beautiful 4 room, draw 2 dice out of the bag, get a worker of any colour. But we've got an option. Pay nothing. Put an influence on a scroll. We're going to get to do that for free anyway. Pay a money, get a worker of any colour. This is too expensive, 3 money, but it would get you a blue die into your hand and remove a white die from the bag. That would have been beautiful. But this one, deliver, you could get 2 gold. Oh, I'm going to need money, though, to deliver. This is a cheaper room, though, and we could. I know we don't want to put white dice in there, but, this, we could always deliver with this. I'm going to put him here. That's 1 of the gold, at least. We could, well, without delivering, we could get the gold from this card if we really wanted to. Or we could just move a bit less on the tracks. I'm putting him there. So I pay a money, which it looks like I've already done. Get a gold, which... Oh, no, I did have 2 money. Paid the money, had the gold. Put your influence on them so you don't forget. They are there 3 times, though. So it's good. That's 3 translations before he retires and I've got to do it again. But also, that's 3 translations before he retires and comes down and gives me some lovely bonuses. So we've done everything that there is to do about recruiting, apart from the bonus here. Put an influence on a scroll. I think we want it on that Syriac scroll, right? Because it's already worth an extra point, and it will move me up a track of my choice, a primary coloured track of my choice. But will give us a point for every track that we're at 3 of, and you get 2 points anyway for getting to 3 on a track, so feels like it works together quite nicely. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do next. But when they've played 5 cards, they will have played 3 of one colour, so they are going to rest. So when they rest, you reveal the bottom card, just like if we were doing it. It's a Caliph card, so we don't draw a new card to replace this. If we were drawing from the top to replace cards in the display, you do draw another one because the display needs to be full. But this gets resolved now, right? We kind of pause stuff to do this. So this Caliph card, it's got 3 bonuses on it. The people in charge of each temple can pick one of these bonuses from left to right. You have to give up an influence to do that. So I will be giving up my only influence in any of the temples, but I could have 3 points at the end of the game. A point and a purple die now, and I get points for every purple die that I've got. Or I could get a gold, or I could retire one of these translators like we did earlier if I'm prepared to take a white die. I think you're right. We've already got this locked in. This isn't like a dream of something we haven't translated yet. We've got it. And if I can travel next time and put something in the Purple Temple, we can get the influence back again. So the bot does have like things that will influence its choice, but it will just basically take the other two. So when the bot gets to retire a translator, they pick the nicest one, right? They don't choose to, or do they choose to take gold? Let me just double check. Resolving Caliph cards. Yeah. They don't gain coloured dice, yeah. They would retire the translator. Oh, thanks, Daniel. So yeah, that's their choice of translators. This pair. So he's worth 3, she's worth 2. So it would take him. And they're taking an extra white die. So at the end of the game, your dice sum matters. All of your non-white dice subtracted by your white dice is your dice sum. Highest dice sum gets a couple of points. So their dice sum started at 0. This is the first time they've affected their dice. So kind of imaginary. They don't really have dice or anything like that. But yeah, imagining they've added a white die, they've hurt their dice sum. But they've got a translator and they've got 3 points for the end of the game. That's just the first bit of them resting. Hey, Handpants, how's it going? The bot is always a cheater. Move the influence marker on their board left or right. Oh, yes. So what majority of cards did they play? They played a majority of blue cards, so their dice sum goes this way. Gain benefits based on the number of scheme cards they played. If they played fewer cards, they've got resting bonuses as well, like I have. But they played all of their cards, so they get a bonus up here. They played a majority of blue cards, so they're going to retire this translator without having to take a white die for it. And then they shuffle all of their cards back into their pile. There's 6 cards. There's 3 blue. There's 3 red. They all get shuffled back up. And that's them resting, I think. Right. Next time a Caliph card activates, by the way, see there's some stuff on the board under their card. All neutral translators get a gold on them. And everyone that's retired a starting translator gets a money. I've retired a starting translator. The bot hasn't yet. There's plenty of time. Okay. So, I was thinking of delivering, wasn't I? Because if we deliver to the Purple Temple, we can get control of it again fairly easily. So where are we on travel? I mean, this Hebrew one here, this isn't what we're geared up to do at all. But the rewards moves you up the philosophy track more and gives you points for how far you are up the philosophy track. The Greek ones are also nice, but I'm just thinking this Hebrew one is pretty decent. Or you could translate the Syriacs. Oh yeah, we've got two spaces, haven't we? And we've got yellow and blue for green. I think you're right. And then we could try and deliver and we get 2 influence in green. But he's going to deliver there, isn't he? Let's go for it. Let's translate. Let's be the best translators ever. I don't feel like I translated many things last time. This time, though. All translating all of the time. So, do we use the spec? I suppose the number doesn't matter. So I'm kind of hanging on to this, thinking I want to do an action where the number really matters, like, say, research, maybe. Oh, yeah, delivering was going to get us the extra gold. It still can. That's why I was hanging on to this one. But what if we could make something harvest? Like, we're going to move up green, aren't we? So we want green. Is that ecology? Biology. We want biology to harvest, don't we? So I need to do my blue... I'm not going to have any dice to do any more actions. Unless I use the bonus card. We could just rest, couldn't we? We don't have to do it all in one go. But I could play my card that lets me draw 2 more dice out of the bag. So, yellow. I like this, though. I like being a translator. And we could do something else, maybe, that lets us draw a card. Right. Yeah, translate. Done it enough times. Influence is on there. So we immediately can go up any primary coloured track, and we're going to go up the green track anyway, just for the thing that is on the card. So red would get me a gold. Didn't we need a gold to do the research? Boom. But I did want... I'm probably going to do the delivery anyway. I suppose yellow advantage, that is a primary in the bag and remove a white instead of either or. Blue, it's just an influence for now, but then the next step later is draw 5 dice out of the bag. What am I going to rest? I think we should probably rest, right? Yeah, maybe stick to not adding white dice. I do want to just draw some more out of the bag, but we will for this. We'll draw 4 out when we rest. It's just I'm not adding a red. Like my power is. Hi, Rach, just appeared. Hello. Oh, yeah. You tired? Yeah. Right. I don't need to pay gold to do any things, so that's not, like, particularly urgent. I think we do add the white die and draw some things out next time. I can do that, right, without playing any dice to it. But do you have to put a white die on it? You can't use dice. So you're just in time, Daniel. You can't use dice you gain the same turn anyway, so I've got to rest next time, no matter what, unfortunately. Maybe I shouldn't have translated then. No, it's all good. We're doing stuff. I like the yellow. Instead of the either or, I could just have both. We can get the gold from delivering anything anyway. And the blue will research and it'll all be lovely. Yellow as well, Scoutcraft. I think so. I think that's good. So that's all of the translating stuff done, isn't it? And, I mean, there at 2 is 1 more space on each of those. That's 3 tracks so far will be on 3s. 2 points each for the tracks. 1 point each from this card. Are things coming together? Oh, gold on the translator. Yep. Don't forget that. Where is he? There he is. The bot is going to move 2 spots. So they put one of their cards. Is it on the rightmost space? When they loop over here. They also loop over here when they gain gold and stuff. So they are going to put a gold. But they go left. They go left to right, right? Where have I confused that? It's because they choose translators right to left, but I think they do their things left to right. Oh, come on, where's that bit? It'd be the first thing I saw otherwise. Hey, John. How's it going? Oh, come on, tell me about their track. I can't remember. Is it the rightmost one or the leftmost? They're delivering again. I hadn't even registered that bit yet. Pain, aren't they? The instant that... I suppose like a player would, though. The instant that spot becomes available, they're going straight there. I can't find the bit of their rules where they put a thing out. It's in here, definitely, because I've read it at some point. Oh, if they're the rightmost space, wrap around to the left and keep moving there. Place one of the research markers on the leftmost space. We found it in the end. It was exactly where you would expect it to be. So they are putting an influence out in purple. They are just kind of stomping me on, not on translating, but influence-wise. They're now in the purple temple. And are there 3 scrolls in the temples? Nope. So they're going to deliver. Their language focus is Sanskrit, the first Sanskrit. So it gets delivered here. They're going to get 2 influence in green, which they already controlled, but they've locked in that green. So yeah, I'm fine with the fact that I'm resting now, because I wouldn't have been able to go straight there and do this anyway. Again, okay, resting. Am I forgetting something about when this moves? When does this move? This moves according to the value of the points of this card that came out, right? And it just goes to the black spaces. That's what I've forgotten to do. That only matters. Oh, so they wouldn't take this one, would they? They would actually, the first one clockwise is now this Sanskrit. So it did make a difference as to which thing they translated. New one comes off the top. Hebrew. A lot of Hebrew out there now. There's still a Syriac, though, if we can get purple. So that was them doing a thing. I'm resting, aren't I? Have I revealed a scroll card from the bottom? No, I haven't even started my rest yet, have I? So this could be a Caliph card, and it would be pretty bad. It's a Syriac card! Has this got an influence on it? Unfortunately, it's the space where my marker is, so I've got to play enough numbers to go all the way around to get this. It wants me to be up the... Is that the physics? Yes. It wants me to be up the red physics track a load of spaces, but it will help me go up that physics track a little bit. I do want to be up tracks. Are there any empty temples? No. Oh yeah, move the black marker. So that's... Oh, that actually works out well for me, doesn't it? Move the black marker 1. Has this got an influence on it? Thank you. That helps me out. That makes it a very easy one to deliver. Maybe we should deliver first. Why? What else were you going to do? I was going to do that. Research. Be okay. There are no empty temples, so this scroll is discarded. Number 1. Number 2, gain income. So first of all, maths track. That's going to be 3 money. Nope. Next, 1 money. Next, philosophy track, which is gain a primary coloured die and remove a white die. So I'm going to remove it from my bag. There's a lot in there. I want red dice, don't I? But I've got a way of adding red dice. I've got a blue in there. Well, it's going to be in there, but it's not in there right now. I do want to go with the blue track. Add a yellow, so you have 1 of each. I suppose, thanks, Rach. I suppose, as well, yellow will help us go up the yellow track, because it will help to go really high up it. Yellow will help to go up the yellow track without having to rely on yellow workers all the time, of which I don't have any anymore. Yeah, I'll go with that. Into the old bag. Then it's get a white worker. Harvest your blue track, which is still draw until you have 4 dice. I don't have any this time, though, so there is a pretty good chance. I mean, here's what's in the bag right now. 4 of them coming out. Still could all be white, but maybe not. And we've got a red. So that's something. But if we play that card to draw more dice out, the ones we could do with being a bit better. And then the final income bit, the ecology track, which is go up 1 of the primary tracks. So that's the only thing of, yeah, it would have been... I don't think it would have made a difference this time, but in the future, it might be more sensible to have that earlier, because you would then benefit when you harvested the track. In this case, I don't think it matters. So we can go up... So get an influence on a card, maybe that Syriac one. while we've got that translator, or that Syriac one that's in the delivery section. Influence in green, they've got 3. 2 coins, just doing a load of coins. Remove another white, we've had the dice now though. Gold, why have I got no gold? Because I did the translating. I suppose if I got a gold and then delivered, I would have the 2 gold to do some research with. But you wouldn't have the gold to translate with. You might be able to get it. This is the track you want to go up if you want a load of gold. It's not, yeah, this bonus, any primary colour track. Yeah, I think red for the immediate gold. I do want blue, I do want to go up blue in the end, but I'm hoping, I realise I haven't got a way to do this right now, dice and worker-wise, but I'm hoping to do my double move up blue. Oh yeah, it goes to secondary higher up. Ooh, we want to get up green, don't we? Right, yes, so I get a green. I get a gold. And that is all of my income. Workers back to the supply. Dice back in the bag. A lot of good dice in the bag now. And, you know, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to recruit someone and pop them in a space that removes white dice and adds non-white dice in. But the money's probably locked up in delivering stuff. Cards back. And that's my turn. Bot's going to move 0. Are there 7 translators? No, there's 6, isn't there? They're going to recruit a translator. Their focus is this translator, who isn't out. Their value, 0 plus 2. Value 2 room? No. Value 3 room? Yes. Oh, that's the one that would have removed a white die and added a blue die? They're listening to me. Right. Okay. Show us a drink. Last stream, I lost my voice at the end of it. Felt like weeks as well. It was horrible. I wasn't very well already though. It isn't just a scholar's curse. Although I wouldn't put it past the bot cursing me. One more card, and they could rest. I don't know why I'm so surprised or excited about that. Right, shall we deliver? What was the plan? Was it deliver this, and then we could potentially... I'm not in a position to translate it. If I recruit someone, I can put an influence on it and protect it a bit. But you know, that is more things away. Yeah, it's not the best card, is it? It wants us to be 4 to 6. I'm excited because it's Syriac. We could use Syriac in a different way, though. We could get like a Sanskrit scroll translated and get someone that translates Sanskrit. Is it only Sanskrit to Hebrew? Okay, maybe that's setting our sights too high. We could get one that's like Greek and then get a translator that does Greek to Syriac and then Syriac to Arabic. We don't have to translate Syriac things, as nice as it is in our combos. Yeah, maybe it's not going to be feasible getting 4 to 6 and then 7 up this track. I mean, 4 is possible, isn't it? We do want to be at 3 on them. Delivering it and then translating it would get us to 3. And then that's 3 points locked in, and we're at 3 on another track. We don't need the gold for this right now, though. We could translate this Syriac, which, again, isn't great. It would move us up the orange track, which is nice. But a point for every Greek, a point for every Hebrew. We've done neither of those. I do want to get the translator retired. I do want to travel so we can get a red die in the bag. Yeah, I don't think it's worth worrying about and putting influence on either of them, because we can use the translator for something else eventually. Is there something nicer that we'd like to translate? We've got the Hebrew philosophy card. Oh, this one that would get us a... Wasn't there? Yeah, they got rid of the amazing Hebrew philosophy card, didn't they? I was thinking about that one. I suppose that, yeah, that would let us retire someone, and it moves us up the track that we want to be up, or we could recruit them. Hebrew to Syriac. Syriac to... Oh. But to get it translated, I suppose we could use the bots. Has the bot got a Hebrew to Syriac translator? No. So we'd have to recruit someone ourselves. But we could then just get an auto-retire out of the one that's underneath as the bonus for completing this one. It's another couple of things. Yeah, recruited to the free room. Won't cost us any money, and then you'd get an influence on the scroll. All right, we get an influence on the scroll, though, for recruiting the translator. I do have a bit of spare money. I've got one spare money, so I could put them in there to get a worker of my choice as well. Would the worker of my choice help? Delivering? Not really. The other thing is, it's a bit of a ways away, but this Greek one here, 2 points plus 1 for every green. We've got a green from our goal card. This gives us a green. It moves us up the green track again, which helps us move up more tracks. Have influence on things. That's quite nice. Mainly the philosophy bonus, though, isn't it, rather than anything else? And it's 3 points. And I suppose if we were to do this Syriac one at some point, that's an extra point, isn't it? If we were to do this. I'm not very good at it either. Don't worry. I'm streaming it. I'm not very good at it. I won last stream, but I was playing level 0. You can get a blue worker. A blue worker. Where can I get a blue worker? So I can translate on blue. Where would I get a blue worker from, though? Oh, from the recruiting the translator. I remember now. Catching back up. Yeah, because that's the other step we need, isn't it? Right. So that would be a Greek one. How do we translate Greek? It would have to be Greek to... What's Greek to Syriac? Does anyone do that? You do that. And you don't need a very high number. And you let me add blue dice or workers when you retire. But I could just discard you and discard a worker and just go up the green track. If we want to be just going up green tracks. But that would help me get blue dice, and this wants me to have blue dice. I like it. Recruit. Let's do an action. Let's stop talking about doing actions. I think Lady at the End does Greek. And Hebrew to Syriac. Oh, the expensive one, yeah. She's Greek and Persian and Syriac. I think it might change through the other cards. I'm not sure if they're all the same all the way through. The bonus on that one's quite nice as well. Add or remove gold from translators. So make yours retire quicker, make theirs retire slower. But this I kind of like this in combination with this. I can't afford the 4-cost room, but let's recruit. I think let's resolve the green track first before anything else, because maybe it'll move me up and I'll get better stuff. Yeah. It's you can hear my brain burning. I could believe it. It's a very good microphone. What's it doing? Oh yes, we need to put dice on this. So let's just use one of my ones. And it's a bit wasteful because we only need a 3. But that's fine. Is tempting to just discard the worker and just move up the green track for nothing. But no. Let's think big. We're going to recruit you. For 1 gold, you will go in that room and get me a worker of any colour, which will be blue. For research purposes later. And you need an influence to show that you are mine. And then if we can get them retired quick, we can start getting blue workers and blue dice for this thing. Then oh yes, I get to put an influence on something. I want to put an influence on that. The other things are kind of nice, but we want that saved. Just chucking it down outside. Okay, I think we're there. But he's going to be retiring next turn. Not retiring, resting. Retiring would be nice. There are not 5 scrolls, so they're going to deliver. Greek is their goal. To try and deliver my thing. So I have to pay... Oh. Okay. So I've got 4 silver right now, which is the cost to deliver something. If I stop them from delivering it, I won't have enough silver to do it. And so I would have to use my card or wait. And I suppose if we researched first, we're not going to have the gold to research. No, that's not an option. We could just let them do it and we would get a silver. Because I'm not going to be able to do this with a purple action to get an extra silver. Yeah, the only thing I'm missing out on, which would have been nice, is a green track movement and the gold and stuff. We still need to work out how we're getting the gold. We can deliver something else. Yeah, something else. Yeah, I think it's going to leave us caught short, so we will let them deliver it. We can block them if they try and translate it. Where are they putting it? It's just their colour priority, isn't it? Yes, use colour focus. They're putting it in the green temple because the middle row is the only one available. And so they're getting 1 green influence for that. Yeah, getting control of the green temple is not looking good, is it? New scrolls coming out. Is this... It is a Caliph card, which is unfortunate for me. So first of all of the neutral translators, which in the solo game is so heartbreaking, get an influence on them. Do they retire now? Like instantly? Oh, does my influence come off as well? I suppose there are ways we can get influence back on. You gain a silver from the main supply. It's probably in the main bit about influencing. I've got a feeling you're right. Influencing scroll cards. It's here somewhere. Influencing scroll cards. Yes. Yeah, after doing so, the influence is returned to the opponent's supply. That's a problem. We could probably translate if we set our minds to it. Right. Oh, not all just the starting ones. I've put too much out. Actually, that's not many at all, is it? That's only 3. He retires, though. So he's going to get a silver, isn't he? So he retires. Everyone with retired starting translators gets a silver for them. Oh, so I would have had the... Knowing that then, I didn't know it was going to be a... No, I didn't know it was going to be a Caliph card. No, we can't have that. I was just going to say, take backs. No, we can't, unfortunately. Because I've got a retired translator. Have another money. They get a money because they've got a retired translator now, which just moves them along when they gain money. They just move the mocker along. And they are in charge of all the guilds. They are going to lose all of the stuff. I don't think there was one on this. I think that's the first one that's just been added now. Because this is the only Greek one that got one. There was this one, and the first one that got retired, right? that they put gold on last time. I think. Or did I not put one on at all? But I think they give up their influence, right, to do this. They get a coloured dice, so their dice sum goes positive. And they're going to retire. Who's worth the most points? 3 and 3. So they retire them, and their dice sum goes back to 0. And they... Oh, bonuses. They're getting an influence in a guild where no players have any. That's purple and orange. Am I doing this in the right order? Oh, that was just reveal the bottom. This is still translating, isn't it? This is just delivering. This isn't even retiring. That's next time. Resting. Yeah, they're not getting an influence in these guilds yet. This was just a Caliph card from them delivering from the top of the deck. So, there we go. Chinese, want you to be up high on this track and we'll help you get higher on it. If we do that Greek one, there's this Greek one here. 3 points plus 1 for every Greek and would get you a couple of spaces up the track we want to be up on. So, yeah, we need to deliver then, don't we? It'll get us a gold. It'll get us an influence on... It'll only get us one influence, but on an empty temple. If... I suppose delivering... Yeah, the stack as well. There's not loads of cards in it. Maybe what we deliver doesn't really matter. Maybe we should just deliver this Hebrew one just to get the yellow movement. Or just to get like the red movement on this Syriac one, maybe. Never actually be bothered about translating the thing. But we want to be at 3 on tracks, don't we? We've got blue to be able to do the research. Translating to the Greek, I need yellow from somewhere. Doing the research, I need a gold, which we were going to get from delivering. I think we should still deliver, because it's also going to give me an influence in one of these empty temples. The colour, it would be nice to do blue so we could get another influence out on maybe that Greek scroll that I'm a bit worried about. I just like to draw more dice out of it. It's not like any big thing on the blue track. I would just like to have more dice. More options for things. It's not essential at all. Being up any tracks would be nice for that Syriac card. Green would be the nicest, but no track gets me up green. Maybe we just keep pushing yellow. Yeah, I want to keep the blue. It would be nice to have influence on a track, but I don't think it's worth wasting anything. So 1 space isn't getting us anywhere. 6 could get us any of these bottom 3. Moving up the blue is probably the least helpful thing though right now. Moving up the red, at least you're at a solid bonus. And you could get a worker of your colour and a white worker. But it ain't going to get you a gold. The gold comes from delivering, don't worry about that. We could use bigger numbers. We don't want to waste that though. What if it was a red 7? No help. Doesn't get you to this red bit. I think red, and then we're on something solid for red. Let's deliver. So we want to make sure yellow gets harvested, don't we? So let's do that. But then research, you want this one. You want the red harvesting if you're going up it. It'll be fine, don't worry about it. And it's a Syriac, we could just translate that. What am I doing? I'm using this 6. Let's get a red in the bag now. I'm supposed to have 4 reds in the bag, aren't I? Have I only done 1 so far? Yeah. Now there's 2. Well, it's not in the bag, it's there. But you get what I mean. I only need to move 1 for that, though, so why not use the 1? If we're doing the Syriac. Oh, no, because you need to move 2. I've thought this through. There we go. Let's deliver this. Purple to have first choice. I was going to use the pre-printed 5. I don't know if there's any real need to do this. I think I'm going to have to use the pre-printed 5 and both workers and this to be able to do the double move on whichever track we were planning on doing. We were going to do blue, weren't we? I don't know if that's going to be feasible. It's 2 on blue then. Why don't you go and do blue then? And then you'd be at 3 on blue. And that's 3 for that. I suppose, yeah, it doesn't make any difference, really. We want the red harvested, so we'll get the workers to be able to do this. Right. Are we sticking with the red or am I changing to blue? Because then if we're doing the double blue with the action... Are we just doing the double blue with the action now, though, just because I've got those colours? Nah, it'll be fine. Got red. Stick with it. Got red. Pay 4 money. Deliver to the purple temple. Why not? Yeah, we've actually never had a situation where someone had influence at the temple but didn't get the Caliph bonus because they weren't in charge of it. There is a little consolation prize for that. It's not happened though at the moment. The temples have always just been populated by 1 player. Right. So that's that. I've gone up there. Purple influence and a gold. New thing comes out. It's a Caliph card. So we need to put out... Are you out? Yes. Are you out? Yes. Are you out? No. You go out. Which space do they go out in? Is it the rightmost space? The leftmost empty room. It's just something that's on the board when this Caliph event happens. That would put you up any track. That would have been a lovely room. It's an expensive room. It's 4, but... yes, there is the Caliph card. So... Nobody's in charge of the middle, I suppose, is the positive there. So I can have 3 points, or a point and a green. So if we are still going to do this, that's 2 points effectively, and a green die to be working with. Or we could retire one of those. I suppose that's... If you're willing to have the white die, that is some good points as well. That's a 3-point retirement. I kind of feel like the green, and it will help us do more in future. Actually, we can work out what they're going to take. If they've got a blue majority right now, they go for the highest option. So they're going to take the 3 points. Does that influence what you were going to do? Not really. So now neither of these temples have got influence again. And I need a green die in the old bag. Well, you don't want to lose that Greek translation. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to do it. Are we? Maybe. Right. Bot's retiring. I'm thinking about what I'm doing, but let's just do the bot's retiring. Resting, not retiring. The bottom card. There are not many on here. What's this, like 5 cards in this stack? It's not a Caliph card. It's a Hebrew card that wants you to have 4 reds. That's what I'm gunning for. But we'll reward you and also give you orange dice. I don't think I should get into another colour of dice. Move influence marker on the board left or right. The majority was blue, so they go there. Well, the 3 blue triggered the rest. Then benefits on their board. So they are going for the temple. They want to go in the temple where no players have any. Then where the AI has none. Then colour focus. I've had another card off the top. I've filled the gap. Oh, wait a minute. No. That's their Hebrew one from the bottom, isn't it? I see what you mean. Thank you. Yeah, that should have gone there. And then this Hebrew one moved the marker 2 spaces. Has this got a marker on it? No, so that one goes there. Thank you. Got confused because there was an empty space, didn't I? So their colour focus is purple. Purple is one of the empty temples, so that's where they're putting their influence. And then also they're putting influence on a scroll card. So it's the ones out here. Their language focus is Hebrew. Can't be Hebrew. Next up is Persian. Nope. Syriac. They're putting an influence on Syriac, the lowest row. They are putting their influence on that physics Syriac scroll. I don't think that was the one that I was going to do. Then. Yep. Didn't do 5, so we don't do those. The rest of resting, shuffle the cards. Okay, we've got the stuff to be able to do the research. Do we want to spend that gold on the translation, though? Kinda. Not massively. I'm tempted. It's just, I want more of these tracks harvested. The tracks that I want to be harvested. Like, I want red to be out there now, that I'd get 2 workers out of it. I want this to be out there because it's helping me research. But I think for something, this is going to have to go out to try and draw the green so we can translate that Greek. Or maybe we're just going to have to rest. You can get the red income instead of the yellow income in the travel space and then play the special 5 in the research space. Oh yeah, because we want that before there, don't we? I see what you mean. Yeah, that would be a better play. Yeah, we could hopefully get the yellow out, but you want to get the worker before you spend the worker. I see what you mean. So we want you out, and we want you to be a 6 and then turned blue, right? So that we can spend 2 gold going up the blue track twice and getting 2 money. So we've got the money to deliver again if we want. Getting gold and stuff's another matter, though. That is a point. Oh, and we get to put an influence on a card, so I think I'll put it on that Greek one, just in case. We've got a red die. We could put this somewhere, getting more workers out, so that maybe we could translate this Greek before we rest. Let's see what the bot does. Bot is moving a space. Are there 5 scrolls there? Yes. What are you going to try and translate? Persian. I think Syriac. So their language focus, Persian isn't there. So then Syriac. Lowest row. There we go. That's what they translate. It goes in their Syriac thing, which gives them points for the influence they've got in temples. I suppose they've only got 3 right now, because they've got so much up there. And then place gold. So gold in Syriac is just the one. So neutral translators right to left that do Syriac. You and you retire. Okay. Now. Yeah, we could travel again. Yeah, because we do want the yellow just to be played. We don't want to give up on removing a thing and adding a thing. I suppose we've got the influence now, haven't we? We've got the money to put them off, should they try and translate that Greek. Yeah, because researching again isn't going to happen. Got no gold, and we can't get an 8 or more. Travelling with that red 1, though. Let's see, travelling with a red 1, we would get to put an influence in a temple. So we'd get an influence in the orange temple. So that is actually all right, isn't it? Or, yeah, you could do the lowest level research option, which is get a worker and get a coin. We could recruit a translator, even if we discarded them with a 1. That's your choice. A white work for discard. In terms of discarding, a yellow die, that's not one of the points criteria, is it? It's blue and red that we're judged on points for. Retirement bonus, I don't think is going to happen. Draw a die from your bag and get a worker would help us do another action, but only really if we were to draw a green die out, I suppose. The influence in the temple is probably the best thing to do, because they'll do that, won't they, and just have that influence, and then I'm locked out of the final Caliph card. I think we just do a little travel. Just a little travel. Tiny 1 red travel. Oh no, I'm not there. That's the neutral marker. I would go here. Oh, it's 3 money. That's still good. I'm looking at the wrong marker. I'd get 3 money. I'm more inclined to recruit then. I think. Yellow die will help the dice some, but will probably get in the way for other things. White worker would help. I think we're just going to recruit this translator here. Yeah, I don't think the 3 money's very good. This translator here, though, we can have a worker of our choice and draw something from the bag. And if it happened to be green, how likely is that? Are there a lot in here? You're always allowed to look in your bag, by the way. You've just got to, like, shuffle it about afterwards. Oh, there's only 1. Oh, there's 2 green. I just didn't pick it up. It's very unlikely, isn't it, that you're going to just get a green and be able to translate next turn. Just putting a yellow die in there is making it less likely you're going to get to do green, though. At least this, you could have a worker, and then you can pick the other colour to make green, to guarantee you'll get green. Okay. I've convinced me. We're going to dismiss this translator. Let's draw the die first and see which colours of workers we might need. Because if it's red, we could, I don't know, don't try and do the colour wheel on the fly. It's a green. It's a green 4, but it means that we could translate next time now. Okay, colour of worker then, I don't know. Blue or red, I guess. They would be the tracks I'd want to go up next. Blue a bit more maybe, because it's an influence in any temple. Blue worker. Right. That's that finished. That's my whole turn though, just dismissing that worker, but it's all we had. Red card. 1. Are there 5 or more translators? Yes. So they're going to get an influence in a temple. Unfortunately, that means they're going to go for the orange temple. We can try and get more than them in a temple though at some point. And they put in a gold on their rightmost neutral translator, which retires this translator. And let's translate. Okay then, what do we want to harvest? Maybe purple is 3 money, isn't it? I don't want to do the put more white dice in. Orange is spend a worker to get a gold. I do want the money. Wait a minute, where are we getting the gold from to do the translation? You need 2 gold to do the translation. Oh, is it on the leftmost? I don't think they've done it yet on anything else. They haven't moved on this a lot, have they? I feel like they moved around that loads more last time. Although their 0 cards seem to have come out every time. Both the 0s. Right. What am I thinking about? Oh yeah, gold. I've got no gold. I need 2 gold to do this translation, don't I? Because it's Greek to Syriac, Syriac to Arabic. So despite the luck of getting the green die, I think we must rest. I do have 4 money, but I can't travel again. I could research, but you kind of need gold for that. Yeah, we could go up the green track. You haven't got any gold, though. And you've only got 4. Yeah, we're going to have to rest, aren't we? Are we? Are we? Yeah, it's not worth just doing that just to get the 3 money, is it? Or orange. No. We can work out the gold from somewhere else. If one of them had been gold, it would have been brilliant. We could have played the bad, get a white die card to get the other gold. Would have been marvellous, but we'll rest. Bottom scroll card. Oh. Is the last Caliph card. It's not immediately over. You're out. You are not out. You go there. I mean, influence is up for grabs. It's not worth a lot of points at the end of the game, though. Yeah, I think... Don't we finish the round, but the bot is... Oh no, I'm first, aren't we? So the bot will get 2 goes, right? I think it started out so well, but I feel like I've lost control of it. And the game is triggered when all 4 have been revealed. At this point, the round is continued, and then 1 final round is played. So yeah, we've got a turn. We're resting, and we've got a turn. A turn where we may not rest. That's unfortunate. Because I don't know if we're going to be able to translate. Let's have a look. Okay, we've done the bottom scroll card. Income, green track, move up any main track. Well, red, get a gold. There's 1. Boom. Surely, right? I suppose an influence in one of these is nice, but the cards have gone now. It's 1 or 2 points at the end of the game. Yeah, I think the gold. And then that's another track we're at 3 off. That feels all right. Means you have a choice of translating or getting 4 red dice, but not both. Well, I think this then, because this is worth 4 points, isn't it? And getting 4 red dice is 2 points. And it would move him up the green track, which is getting to 3 on another track. Another point here, another point here. Yeah, I think the translating is the thing to do. Red track is get a worker of any choice. I don't think that the colour is going to matter because we've already got the green that we need to do our final action with. And a white worker. Give up any worker, might as well be white, to remove a white die. Let's do it from the bag. It's got more chances of drawing the good ones, but really, that's the die that we need. It doesn't matter, does it? We're too late. Well, it's just a bit unfortunate shuffle maybe because there's 3 left in there. Whereas it could feasibly be the last one, the last card in there. Oh yeah, do we want to add a white die to get a gold? I think no. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? It makes absolutely no difference which dice we draw now. If we were still waiting on the green die, I would say no, and I would do the action with this. Maybe it's still worth doing it with... No, I don't think it is. Yeah, because then you would draw from the bag and then put the white die in. Oh no, we wouldn't put the white die in, would we? No, 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 no. Yeah, because we're not going to rest, so that's not going to trigger. So no, I will choose not to do that. Yellow. Add a die of a colour. Oh, I see what you mean. This is going to add the third red, and then you could have done the fourth from there. Yeah, I don't think it's going to... I could still deliver something that had green on it. No, I couldn't because it's right there. You'd need a massive die. Maybe I could get a die total. But I think the card in itself is going to be worth some points, isn't it? Card in itself is going to be worth like 4 points. Yeah, I think translating is still the thing to do. Is it? Let's choose red just in case it isn't. Because blue we're miles off, aren't we? And remove a white. Blue, we draw 5 dice out of the bag. How many is this? That's 3. All coloured. There's another green. And 2 more. Hey. I think we've removed a lot of the white dice from this. There's 2 white in the bag. 1, 2, 3 here. So we're below 6 for the -3 points. And finally draw a die from the bag. That's the income. Everything else goes back in. Oh, up to 5, up to 5. 5, 6. Well, there's the extra one that I drew. So there we go. Right. You have 12. Oh, so we could go all the way back around. I suppose the bonus, getting 2 money might be an extra gold for another point maybe at the end. Influence is a couple of points. Have I finished this? Let me finish this before I forget. Get them in there. Not that it really matters. So yeah, you could easily make 12. If you made it a secondary colour, is it 12 to go all the way around? That's probably why it's 12, right? Yeah, I think we could only do that with red, and then we'd just get an influence, so I don't think it's really as good, because we can't do a colour that would get us a bonus, even a couple of coins. We would make the delivery spending our 4 coins, spending a point, but we would get a gold, which is half a point back. And we'd have the influence. We'd go up there, which is 1. But that's negligible, isn't it? Because that will happen from translating anyway. And we would get control of the orange temple, which is 2 points. But I think that... Oh, we'd get the red die as well. So you'd get 2 points from being in control of the guild. You'd get 2 points from having the red dice. Greek, I think it's the exact same, you know. Because doing the Greek scroll, you would get 2 points from the scroll, and you would get 2 points from the green dice. 1 I've already got, and 1 there. It still gets that. I'm nowhere near the 4. Oh yeah, and they might take control of orange away from me. How much is dice sum worth again? 2 points. I suppose a 2-point swing, so 4 points essentially, isn't it? Because it's 2 points you've prevented your opponent from getting in a 2-player game. I suppose either way, the dice swing is the same either way, isn't it? Because I'm either getting a red die from one action and a green die from another. I suppose... Yeah, if we go... delivering is better by half a point... The scroll improves your dice sum. Yeah, we should be way ahead on dice sum. Yeah, I suppose delivering gets me a gold. And so I would have 2 gold, so it would be an extra point, right? But if he comes in and does something that gets him influence on orange, I don't think he would though, would he? He's going to put a gold on a thing when his thing swivels round. I don't think he will try and take control of orange, because he can't deliver to a space that's got 2 on it. I think delivering or translating would get me the green bump. So either one of them do that. Yeah. I think we'd be safe on orange, because the bot would just take the free one. And delivering, they couldn't get 2 anywhere anyway. So I think delivering is worth more points. Considering the dice sum is already safe, we're already miles ahead. I think delivering is the best option by like a point. Because you would still have this 2 gold. Oh, but if you deliver... you would still have this 4 coins, which is 2 gold. I don't know. I think it's the same. You think delivering slightly better? I don't want to work it out again. I suppose either way we use this action, right? That gets us a gold. Because whether we use it or not... oh, these cards shouldn't be on the actions. Yeah, you spend 2 gold to translate, so you've still got the 4 coins, which turns into 2 gold at the end of the game. Or you spend the 4 coins to deliver, in which case you've still got the 2 gold. I suppose you would have 3 gold. So yeah, it's half a point. Do you get half a point in it, though? I think it's a point for every 2 gold, so I don't think that half a point would count. Would it? I don't know, actually. You round down. It'll say somewhere about scrolls, won't it? I won't look now. I think it's the same. Yeah, we didn't get the thing that gave us points for... we didn't get the thing that gave us points for translating extra Greek. There it is. Would we retire someone? Nope. But the gold on your translators is still yours, isn't it, at the end? Am I right in thinking that? So I think translating's better. I'm going for it. I'm going to stop thinking about it. So that's on there. Green. Let's go for a double green. Why not? That doesn't matter. Right. We need to pay. We're going from Greek to Syriac, and from Syriac to Arabic. My influence comes home. I get a green die in the bag. And a point for every green die. 2 points if I can get 4 blue dice. And that's it, isn't it? Oh, no. The green movement, which gets me a green influence, which is irrelevant. Unfortunately, that's the temple where they happen to keep 1 more influence. I think that's everything in my power. They don't move again, so they don't get another gold on their stuff. There are 3 things in the temple, so they will be translating. Their language focus is Syriac, so they are taking that starting scroll. Going on to Syriac, 1 gold is going out somewhere. Their rightmost translator that can translate Syriac, there, not retiring though. And that's it. So, my stuff. Oh yes, work out your dice sum. So their dice sum didn't change. It's... well, didn't change that turn. It's changed over the course of the game. It's 2. And I think we can see that I have got more than the difference between my coloured and not coloured dice. It's not that drastic, actually, is it? 2, 4, 6, 8 to 5. It's only 1 better. Acting like it's infinitely better. It's a bit better. So 3 to 2. It means I have the superior dice sum, which in a 2-player game is worth 2 points. Victory points on your retired translators. I only retired 2 translators. So 5, 7. Victory points from guilds you control? No. Victory points from Caliph cards? 8, 9. Positions of your research markers on your tracks. Yeah, I think I have been a lot faster this time as well. I did the casual game last time. Maybe it's because I went very well or I was losing my voice or something. But it took like 3.5 hours. So I was wary of doing that again. And already, I've been faster this time, but we're still over 2 hours. I did say last time, we'll do Epic next time. Maybe we will one day. I do agree, though, like, Epic is the full game in it. This is called casual. And it would, like... Well, you can see, can't you, from the gold that is on the translators and stuff, the cusp of all the things we're on the tracks. A few more turns... The Epic would give you quite a few more turns, potentially. Depends on these kind of... Like, if these were shuffled slightly different, we could have had a few more turns, depending on what, like... They only come out when someone delivers or rests, so we could have had a few more turns here. Oh, I've lost count. 5, 7, 8, 9. On the research tracks, so points for these. So purple, it's 1 point if you've got to 1. 10, 11, 12, nothing. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 altogether. And then you scroll cards. 20. These turn into 2 gold. Do we need to... Oh yes, take off gold on your translators and put it in your supplies. Lost count again. I should be using the app. I don't know if it's in the app yet. 17. 17. 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We haven't got 6 or more white dice, so we don't have that penalty. 25. 26. Tracks I am at 3 or above. 27, 28, 29. 30 and nothing else. 31. 1 for every purple. That's just 1, so 32. Didn't get the reds. 32. 34. 1 for every green. 35, 36. Didn't get 4 blues. 36 points. I am going to type it so I don't forget. The bot, though. The bot hasn't... Have I got 3 greens? Oh, 1's on my board, isn't it? 37. Thank you. Take all your dice from everywhere and do your dice... Oh, yeah, my dice sum is 4, actually. The bot hasn't translated much. He's still translated 4 times. He's not got much influence on, though. I think... Let's see. So, they get victory points from their dice sum. Nout. They lost the dice sum. Victory points on their neutral retired translators. Okay, that's going to be a few. Because they don't get... Do they get the gold off their things? I don't think so. So they're... Well, why don't we just go to the bot camera angle, eh? That would make sense. So they've got 2, 5... I'm holding these so awkwardly. 8, 10, 12 points from retired translators. Guilds they control. Did I just say 12? I did, didn't I? They control the orange guild, the green guild, which is worth 3. So they're on 15. Caliph cards is what's going to kill me, isn't it? Let's have a look. 18, 21, 24, 27, 28, 29. How much are they getting? And then a point for every scroll. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. What were they on? 29, 33. That's where I've lost, I think. Neutral translators still in rooms. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Because the last one that they've actually got 2 cards on has actually worked out perfectly, really. Isn't this a point for every 2 influence on the minarets? They have 1 influence, so I would say that scores 0, right? A point for every 2 influence, 0, multiplied by 2. They've still won, but very close. I think, yeah, in terms of, in the first half of the game at least, them perfectly getting in the way of exactly what I wanted to do. And maybe most importantly, though, that last Caliph card. If that had been just 1 card away, we could have done the delivery and the translation. And I think probably been in the lead by a couple. But I do agree that, yeah, the epic game is where it's at. It's like adding 4 cards into the game? Because all the middle 4 stacks that have got 2s have 3s instead. So it's not making it that much longer. But yeah, I'm wary of when the streams get so long. In general. But just a bit worried for me. Like I said last time that I lost my voice at the end of this stream. I was ill, pretty much. Like not just because of talking and that, but just generally. Had various illnesses, one after the other, for basically February. The Weather Machine stream I did a couple of weeks ago, I lost my voice after that Friday night again. So yeah, this is the only time that I've been filming playthroughs like last week and this week in smaller chunks, getting a bit longer and a bit longer. So this is the longest that I've been talking in my I think I'm better experiment. And yeah, I don't think the voice is getting lost, so we should be back to the big old streams, which is good because what's next in the voting list? Rheinenberger Canal is filmed. That will be coming up on Patreon in a couple of days. What's next on the votes? I think, is it Motor City next? Or Kanban EV? There's some big ones close, I think. But yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? 37 to 39, was it? Still pretty pleased with that result. We're playing on level 1 difficulty as well. There's quite a few. There's quite a few levels of difficulty. Will this pick up the detail of them? You can see that. So level 2 actually. I thought the easiest one was 0. So level 2, rather than no starting translated scroll and their dice sum is -2, which is what we had last time. Now Persian, they get a Persian starting scroll and their dice sum is 0. Next time, they would have an influence on the scroll card in the purple guild from the start of the game, a gold on the leftmost neutral translator, bit closer to retiring, and they would have a starting scroll card in Greek and their dice sum would be +1. So yeah, I could have seen that, and for Persian, them having all those translators out is bad, so maybe you'd want to think about putting more translators out yourself so they don't do that, but I don't know if that's the way to think about it. They would start with a Greek, so they would get points for every scroll they translated. So you'd want to try and translate as many as possible to stop them. Maybe that's what I should have been doing, mate. Perhaps. But I really enjoyed the different ways that it went as well. Like last time, I can't really remember. Like there was a bit of translating going on, but the main focus was just driving up this maths track, wasn't it? And we get all the way up it, and every rest just getting rich and able to do pretty much what I want because of the amount of money that I had. So yeah, very different. And this way it's been mostly translating and mostly very easy translating as well. Just Syriac to Arabic using my starting translator and 2 others once. I believe Mage Knight lost the poll. It's still got a chance. It depends, like, I don't know. I would love to do every single one on the vote every time. I think Mage Knight is like, it's only like 4th down or something, right? 5th? I think it's close. I don't think it's a mile. I don't think it's many miles away. But, yeah, there's just no time to do everything. I want it to do well in a vote to egg me on, because I haven't played it in, I feel like it's a year ago, but I'm scared that it's 2 years ago. Because time just disappears. Yeah, and I got to retrain myself on it and everything. But there was talk of like, hopefully at some point, Paul Grogan and I can work out our schedules and do a dual stream again. Because there was talk of that before Christmas, but there's busyness in general, and then like Paul was ill all through January with his things. I was ill all the way through February. But hey, hopefully we can get it together, because yeah, Paul can help fill in my gaps of my rusty Mage Knightness whenever it happens. And the plan was, whatever we do when Mage Knight happens, the plan was to do his scenario from his expansion. I can't remember what the scenario is called, but it makes it like a shorter game, but you start off with a load of things, so you start off a bit more powerful. But yeah, the intention was to keep playing Mage Knight all the time, but as with every single game, oh, you can't see the games around me anymore, I'm just in space, aren't I? But yeah, whatever the rest of that sentence was. I'm looking forward to it though, because, oh, Gallerist is next and Kanban EV is 1 vote behind. Oh, wow. Yeah, Gallerist is my favourite one. It's like a mix of Glass Road and Aura Labora. Yeah, because the resource wheel. The resource wheel it works more like Glass Roads, but you have to pay money. It doesn't just turn as soon as the resources are available. You have to do a free action that costs you money to turn it, or you can have a free turn at the end of every round. It's great. It's like, but it's maybe more Nusfjord length. I'd say more heavier than Nusfjord, maybe. It's still like a really simple worker placement board. There's only like 7 spaces and they do very simple things. But yeah, there's so many combos of cards and what they do, and it's like a spatial puzzle on your board. You've got however many spaces for the cards. To activate a card, you've got to surround it by paths, and the paths all have different costs, and the cards all want to be next to particular paths, and then you can put bridges over the paths that connect 2 cards, and if you get 2 bridges on a card, then it activates again. Yeah, there's it's fairly, like, for a 7-round game. It's what the solo is anyway. I haven't played it multiplayer. Yeah, it's so tight. I really, really enjoyed it so far, though. And I've only played with things from the A deck. Like, there's a load of different decks. Agricola, stroke Nusfjord style. But yeah, that'll be coming up soon. And maybe we'll do more of that too. There's just, yeah, a lot to catch up on. Because I also want to make sure Atua gets done, which missed out because I couldn't do as many things as I wanted to in February. And January, just because of time reasons, Frostpunk still hasn't been done, and they are like gnawing at my mind. Like, I'm at capacity for the, yeah, there's so many great things out, and like, I think what's coming soon, I can't remember. Like, Motor City arrived now, so that's like somewhere in the vote as well. Hopefully that would come. We haven't done Hadrian's Wall for ages as well. That needs to catch up still on that solo campaign, but hey, it means that we can keep playing Hadrian's Wall for a bit longer. Oh yeah, Skytear Horde was something I was chatting about today. It seems cool, like a kind of tower defense. It said on their website like a magic stroke Hearthstone kind of game. But what if it was co-op? Which, yeah, heck, that's why I don't play things like Magic and stuff. I have played them. I've played some Hearthstone, but yeah, not really into competitive card games very much at all, especially not like playing them with range. But a co-op one sounds great. And then we've only played like the tutorial of it, the learn to play bit, but we played Eon Trespass Odyssey, proper mini dice chucking adventure. Really enjoyed that as well. Both ends of the spectrum. Played Orion and Burger Canal and Aeon Trespass Odyssey. Well, there's more to it than that. But hey, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'd like to come back with it. Like, we came back with Wayfarers around the time when it delivered. Like, these... Oh, let's put a bit of tea. Luckily not on anything. Just on my mat, which is dirty already. Yeah, I don't think it'll be before the end of the campaign now, because the campaign is not that many days left on it. Hey, it's linked in the description stuff if you'd like to see how you can get hold of this. It's going off... I don't know the exact month that the estimate is, but going off previous Garfield campaigns, I have to be waiting that long for it. But yeah, this should be, well, is on Kickstarter right now, and it shouldn't be too far in the future where you can get hold of it. I'd like to come back with more as well, because like the downside of leaving Wayfarers between the campaign and then doing another one when it delivered, still like caught up and stuff, but yeah, it's just nice doing things when they're fresh in your mind and you can keep doing all of the different stuff. But yeah, time is the number one thing, because it's my... Oh, that leads me to... Because it's a part-time thing that I do still, and you can help me do more of it. Patreon, I don't think I said this at any point. It's the perfect time to say it 2.5 hours in. Patreon and Ko-fi are linked in the description. Yeah, any support there would be massively appreciated. Oh, thanks, Steve. Steve's linked it again. It's got 6 days left. It ends next Wednesday. So, depending at which point you watch this, as of the 9th of March, there are 6 days left of it. So, yeah, check it out. But, yeah, I'm sure there's like... There'll probably be a late pledge, I don't know. But you can definitely, like, pre-order them from Garfield's website. If you're watching this in the interim period between it being on Kickstarter and it delivering, then you can get it in shops after that if you'd like. You can get the promos and stuff elsewhere at future dates. I need to remember to look into metal coins as well, because I haven't got metal coins for me. I've got metal coins for me West Kingdom, but they're slightly different. They're different, aren't they? For the South Tigris, we need the proper metal coins, which you can get with the Kickstarter. Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. There will be more streams next week. It sounds like The Gallerist is going to be the biggie next week, which is, yeah, still definitely my favourite solo Vital Lacerda game. One of my favourites overall. Might be my favourite overall. It fights with Kanban. So, yeah, there's going to be that and more next week. Orion and Burger Canal coming up on Patreon. A classic, an unearthed playthrough from many, many years ago. The Road to El Dorado, an amazing deck building race game, will be coming up on Sunday. And I need to do a little, I need to film a little bit for it, just explaining, hey, it's all shaky cam and old, because it's old. Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I will see you soon for pre-recorded things and next week for live things. Look out for a post on Monday about what I will be doing next week. For now, though, I'll see you all soon, and hopefully the credits work okay. Marty says bye too, even though it seems that he's... I haven't been paying attention. I've been too focused on the game. He's sank somehow on the camera. He's having a little clean. He says goodbye as well. Thanks, everyone, and see you soon. Bye, bye, bye.